This is our presentation on our lake rental apartments. Okay, sorry.
To start off, we have a stacked bar chart. Stacked bar charts are useful tools to easily understand the comparison between different variables. Here, the average cost of monthly rent between each different apartment district that are 10 miles from the city center. When data uses more than two variables, it's called multivariate data. This data here is called bivariate because there's only two variables being compared, the price and the location. This is another stacked bar chart. Each different color bar represents a different apartment district. This chart displays how much inventory there is and its monthly rent based on its location. Scatter plots are also really helpful. This one is showing a trend line between the average costs of monthly rent of apartments that are 10 miles outside of the city. And then this scatter plot demonstrates the trend between monthly rent and which districts the apartments are located in. There are a few outliers that are evident, like an apartment in the 8th district, which is the Mountains district, which would be $11,000 a month. Also, an apartment in the 1st district, which is the Coffee Bars district, for $825 a month. This could mean that the apartments in the Coffee Bars district tend to cost less than those in the Mountains district.
So below here, we have a bar chart for all the different apartment districts. And so what's good about a bar chart is that it shows categorical and quantitative data. So we can look at a quick glance of what districts have higher and lower revenue. And so easily we can see that our Lake neighborhood or District 5 has the lowest total of $33,807 for revenue. So that kind of gives our prospective renters a good glance at what might be their best choice as far as a district to live in. Now, for histograms, it's a really awesome chart to compare the frequency of different rates of inventory and what kind of expenses are going to come for each neighborhood. So we're going to compare District 1, 3, and 5. So over to the left, we have District 1 coffee. And as we can see, the inventory ranges between 400 to 825 with a bit of a gap where there's not really a lot of apartments available in the 700 range. And then below, we have the frequency of inventory for our district, District 5, where the inventory ranges from 250 to 615, and there's a major gap between values of 345 to 535. And then finally, total revenue for District 3, which is speakeasies, and this has a little bit more of a consistent frequency with a high point in the 400, 500 range, and the inventory ranges from 350 to 550. Then by calculating the standard deviation of each compared neighborhood, Lakes has the highest standard deviation, and this explains that there is more variance in the data and there tends to be more of an inventory and prices for different types. So that means there's more a concentrated array of types of apartments. And what kind of shows with our graph over here is that on the lower price end, there's more apartments available where as it gets more expensive, there's less. So if a renter is trying to save money and get an apartment with lower rent, they're going to have more opportunities in the Lake District.
So here we want to compare our lake rentals to the shops and beach rentals. All of these properties in the neighborhood that a little outside of the city are appealing. However, when comparing lakes to rentals, we want to focus on that our lakes have lakefront views, access to a private, clean lake. The beaches are close by to the ocean, but they don't have direct beachfront views. And the average price of a lake rentals is $380, whereas the average price of a beach rental is $487. So if our renters are looking for something a little less money, they should focus on the lakes. And then when comparing the lakes to the shops rentals, there are a few amenities we should focus on. The lakes also have boat parking and great fishing, whereas the shops aren't far from the lakes. but they're just close to local shopping and restaurants. Both properties are a little outside of the city, but the lakes offer a more exclusive and a private feeling. And the average price of a lakes rental is $280, whereas the average price of a shops rental is $805.
So here I've created this pie chart so that we could see the revenue of all the properties. While our lake properties do create less revenue, we have the lowest turnover of properties. Therefore, tenants aren't going in and out. There's less money spent on marketing and less apartments are sitting empty. Next is box plot. Shows the highest, lowest, median, and outliers of our rentals. So as you can see, we offer some of the lowest prices coming in at $250. Our median is around $325, and then our IQRs are $333 and $308. This is much different as we look at other box plots comparing studio rent pool and studio rent bars. See, their lowest is starting at $350 and $400. And their ranges continue to be a lot higher in their medians. And you can see that on a larger scale. I've pointed out our lake properties on our box plot compared to all the other properties. So it is the most affordable price and probably the best price for you.
So the standardized distribution here is listed for both the lake apartments and the mountain apartments. And we can see that compared to the lake apartments, the mountains show a wider range of prices. And the place where the line of best fit would cross the x-axis is where the mean would lie. So for the lake apartments, this mean would be $380. And for the mountain apartments, it'd be $544. This shows that the lake apartments might be better suited for a more affordable option than the mountain apartments would be. And then compared to the population standard distribution as a whole, we can see that the mean for all of them together is $513.49. And whereas we remember that it was $380 for the lake apartments. So this shows that we lie below the average mean for the entire population. And then just comparing the neighborhood to the city, the neighborhood just offers more real estate, a safer environment, cheaper, and you get more for what you pay for. There's great school districts in the neighborhood, and it's easy access to the city for outings, but you also get that community-driven feel, and you get larger apartments as a whole within the neighborhood apartments. And then the city does offer some good perks, including public transportation, more variety for culture and entertainment, bigger event spaces. There's great opportunities for jobs, and there's more updated utilities, dining options, and you're usually closer to the airport.
Awesome, thank you.